Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I thought we'd have well, is it midwinter or late winter? A look round the garden anyway. Effectively the garden's in a mess and there's nothing I can do about it until we sort the decking out, which Hannah has suggested next time she's down, which is not this weekend coming, the one after, down for the Bournemouth Orchid Society show on the Saturday, but we've got the Sunday, and she suggested that we both get out here and take as much of this to pieces as we can to work out what needs replacing. And if I get some help and somebody out here with me, we could well get a lot done, providing it's not raining, which it's been doing every single day, and I'm whizzing the camera around now in between quite heavy showers. So we'll see what we can do. But this is the problem I've got, is everything's not where it should be. The bench is over here, tables over here, my bonsai are all over the place, so they're not displayed properly or anything at the moment. It just all looks a mess, quite honestly. Right, so we start over in this corner like we normally do. This shrub looks like it's coming into leaf. Now, under normal circumstances, at this time of year, it should be in flower. But it flowered in early December, so the flowers have been and gone. So, I'm not quite sure what's happening with this. It normally blooms on bare branches, and then when the blooms go over, the leaves come out. So, it's playing games this year. Anyway, this clump of... Can I remember what it's called? No. But the original piece of plant came from Helen, and it's right up there somewhere. And it's managed to seed down here. But then we do get quite a bit of draft through this, comes in through this alleyway and blows up here. You get branches from the oak tree falling down. But that's seeded on its own. This lily type plant has arrived. I haven't planted it, and there's several. There's another little one here. But the hellebores, a lot of them have gone. They just never came back after the first year. They came from deepest Wales, but sure there are, yes, there's one up there, look, with nice deep red looking flowers. So there's one nice new growth coming with blooms. There may be some more, who knows. There's some leaves around, so there may be some more come up later. The little cyclamen has got flowers on, that looks quite attractive. And the other one got no flowers at all. I think that one might be a bit buried. Now we've got snowdrops coming out all over the garden. They come up each year. The elephant's ears is not doing very well in my garden. It just won't get going. It should be, by now, that should be a nice big clump. And it should bloom, which it hasn't done yet. But we shall wait and see. And then we've got a lot of ferns in here that are not showing. The big ones like that, and the one behind it, I mean, that's got loads of new growth. Those are new fronds waiting to expand, which they will do. And hopefully that big one behind it will do the same thing. But they're not doing it yet. So ferns are not progressing. The hart's tongue ferns, got a few of those don't drop their leaves, but most of the others do. They die back and then they come back in the spring. Now we have got some Aquilegias, granny bonnets. There's a nice good fat one starting to grow there. We've got some bulbs there that I don't know what they are. I'm hoping that those are fritillaries, because that's the only thing I can think of that was there. They're not daffodils, they're not bluebells, and they're certainly not snowdrops. And that's the only other types of bulbs I've got, so I'm hoping that's what they are. And then in the odd little place, like there, that little bit of bright green, and some other places like here, those are the Californian poppies. Now, I probably sprinkled 400 or 500 seeds over this bed of Californian poppies. I also sprinkled about 100 seeds of the fritillaries, and various other things got loads of seeds sprinkled over this bed. Now, whether they're going to come up or not, I don't know. And the trouble is, they look like weeds. Everything, when it starts to grow, puts up 2 little leaves, seedling leaves. I'll show you a big clump of them in a minute. So until you let them grow, you don't know what they are necessarily. Ugh, great. Anyway, we've got a nice clump of, I think that's the Spanish bluebells, but I'm not absolutely sure. And then we've got some more daffodils coming through there, some more Aquilegias coming up there, a couple of nice clumps of snowdrops, they're looking nice, another odd few there. I don't remember planting these snowdrops, but I must have done. Don't remember putting any up that end, but anyway, got some, the primroses are starting to come into bloom now. Now if you look there, there's a mass of little tiny seeds, and if you look there, there's loads, but I don't know what they are yet. So at the moment they can only be classed as a nuisance, because if they're going to be weeds, that's a lot of weeding I'm going to have to do. Anyway, there's a nice Welsh poppy there. There's another one there. There's another one, where did I see one? There's another one down the front here somewhere. But they're starting to come up in places, so they're not lost. That's the main thing, they're not lost. Providing we don't get a silly summer like we had last year, where we had 4 months with no rain, and it got very hot. We had a couple of heat waves in amongst that. That doesn't do a garden any good at all. So, difficult to say what we're going to get this year. Now, I'll have to go round. The bird feeder's in the way. Now, if you look at that plant there, that's the Michaelmas daisies for later in the year. There's another Aquilegia at the base of those bulbs. Those bulbs, I believe, are English bluebells, I hope, which have not established very well, I must admit. But if you look there, those sword-like leaves, that's the I can't remember what they're called. I call them flaming onions because they have bright orangey red blooms on. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but there are a few of those starting to show through. We've got some of the geraniums are starting to get going, more Aquilegias in here. This rose is not very successful. It's most of the base of the plant is actually dead, and it's just got that one growth. It's not very strong at all. I will get some feed on it. And that clump up the other end I said had self-seeded, that's the clump it started from. And it's self-seeded right up there. Just the one. Plants do some funny things sometimes. There's another one of those lily things, and another one there. To say they've just arrived, I didn't plant them. And then we've got more daffodils coming up here. I did plant those. And in the tubs we've got this perpetual wallflower, which has got no flower spikes on at all, but they're starting to show, so it should come back into bloom. It did not like the hot weather. This is the herbs. This is 3 different types of thyme and the chives. This is probably going to get scrapped because it has these tall creamy coloured heads with lots of tiny little blooms on that are supposed to be good for the pollinators, and I've yet to see a butterfly on them. So they're taking up one of my nice big blue pots. I like the foliage, but they don't do much for me, so We've got some daffodils coming up there. Oh, I've just spotted, hiding under an ivy leaf. Got some crocuses coming up. Now, I don't plant crocuses as spring bulbs because they don't last long and they normally get bashed down by rain and wind. So they don't put on a good enough show for me. I'm sure other people think they're wonderful. Some more snowdrops coming up there. Now, those are not your normal snowdrops. Those are some sort of hybrid, but they do look nice when they come through. Got another nice clump of daffodils that comes up through the ivy there. Some more snowdrops there. Some more daffodils coming up through there. My maple tree buds are just starting to swell, so we should get some leaves on there in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'd have thought. The camellia up there is a mass of buds. We've just got to hope that we don't get hard frosts, because it turns the buds brown and then the blooms open and they look awful. So we'll have to wait and see what that's going to do. But there's certainly a lot of buds on it. Noisy seagulls. And then over here, all over here just looks a mess because of the leaves. And I can't use the leaf blower to get rid of them until they dry off, because the leaf blower just, it doesn't move them when they're wet. So I'm still struggling to get this part of the garden tidied up. But one thing I have just noticed here, this had bonsai staging over this area, and all of those tiny little leaves is that bittersweet stuff that spreads like wildflower if you, excuse the pun, if you allow it to flower. So I've got some serious weeding to do in this area. Those have got to be pulled out a plant at a time, literally. So that's that. I've got some primroses along this bit as well. There's various types of ground cover, several different types of thyme that again came from Carroll in Wales. And then we've got this is cuckoo flower. It's a wild plant, and it's taken over these couple of pots, and it can stay there. It looks smashing. Early spring bloomer, so that's that. That's not funny. I'll have to try and tip that over, because that's just gonna suffocate the plants. Flood the whole garden. I think I'm going to leave that tipped over. God, it smells as well. And hopefully that'll dry off a bit, because the roots still need oxygen. This plant's got this is the buddleia, 2 types of buddleia in there, and the pot really is now not big enough for the size of the plant. But what I'm going to do with it this year is I'm not going to let it get so big. So it's going to get cut hard back soon, and then the new growths will shoot out, and I'm going to top them so that they bush out earlier and not let them get quite so tall this year. The wind actually blew that over a couple of times. Same with this one. This is one that has the smaller white buddleia flowers on, but the drainage has gone on that one. You see a mass of roots coming out the drainage hole. The water can't get through, so I'll have to try and sort that out. Over here, all of this greenery here, this is forget-me-nots, so that's going to put on a good show. Got some more bulbs up in the corner, more primroses along this bit. And geraniums under the hedge. What have we got? We've got the lavender around here, and the rosemary. That's a mass of buds, the rosemary. And it's all flooded down here where I just tipped that water out, so I can't walk on that. I've got my sandals on. And this is the Himalayan honeysuckle. That'll have to be cut hard back as well. So that's that. So my Sarracenias, they're going to get all chopped back and repotted in the not too distant future. That'll be a nice project to do. I haven't repotted a Sarracenia before. And my bonsai are just absolutely soaking wet at the moment. I hope the roots survive. I really do. This one's going to have to be repotted this year. It's pushing itself out of the pot. So that's my European beech. Now the red campion, all the old shoots have died right back, but we've got a mass of new ones, and we've got some that have self-seeded in other places. So that's a gain. There's even some over this side, so we've got some on both sides of the path now. So that'll look good. Absolutely necessary, that noise. They're up on the apex of that roof. There. Noisy lot. Why aren't you down on the beach, on the coast where you should be? Yes, so the red campion's done well. This, I forget what it's called. Again, it's a wild flower, but it's actually a hybrid version of it. So that has the lovely tight clustered purple flowers. Bees and butterflies really do like that, so that's good. And then I hope my white pine survives all this rain. They do not like soggy roots, but they also don't like, they need bright light. They're a quite a high altitude mountainside type pine, so they like intense light, but they don't like wet. So hopefully it will survive. And then up in this bit here we've got some more bulbs. The bamboo was cut down completely because it was taking over the whole corner, and what I'm sort of waiting for it to do is either die or push out some new shoots. If it pushes out some new shoots, I will chemically kill it. So I want it gone. And the trouble is, Hannah said, why don't we dig it out? I said, if you dig that out, we're going to have a big hole, and I haven't got soil to fill the hole in, so we'd end up with a big hole, you know. So we're going to let it rot down, basically. There's some ferns in here. Oh, this is something as well. This is the oh, sorry, that stuff over there is red valerian. I always get these two muddled up. So that's red valerian. This, with the velvety leaves, is rose campion. And I sprinkled probably 200 or 300 seeds over on that bed over there, and at the moment there's not a sign of them. And the ones that I had over there seem to have disappeared, because effectively they're classed as a short-lived perennial. So they seed from the flowers towards the end of year one, and they grow into small plants. The following year they grow on, and then the year after that they flower, and then most of them die. Luckily they haven't all died here, so I've still got some, and these are flowering size, so these will flower this year. And there's some ferns in here and some other types of ground cover. Just everything's just buried by the leaves again. Just can't do anything with it. But, and these variegated bushes, we just keep these in check. Every now and again we take a foot off of them and let them all shoot out again, so they don't get too big. They get too big, you can't reach the top without getting steps out, so it pays to keep them. Obviously they can be done from standing on the decking, but standing on the decking at the moment is not a good idea. This bit here is reasonably firm, but anywhere else is just soggy. And you can see this end here, the whole lot's just rotted. That's just gone. So all of those short boards that run from the tree outwards, they'll get replaced completely. There's one long board here that's rotted. That'll have to be replaced. The next one's okay, not rotted. And the one after that that's got the chunk out of it for the tree, that might just about be okay. But the whole side wall's falling away, and that doesn't help. Because, you know, it was sitting on that. I don't want to fall over. It's the last thing I want to do. Anyway, so that's a look round at sort of what's going on. I don't know whether we've got, I'm not getting in there, but there's the other camellia, the one that has the bright red flowers. That's actually got quite a few buds on, but nowhere near as many as the white one. But there are some buds on that as well. The bamboo will have to have a hack this year as well. Didn't get done last year. Just literally run the hedge trimmer up, like a zip up the side, just take all the foliage back. That laurel needs a little bit of a trim, but not too much. It's got geraniums again under the hedge there. They get into quite large plants. But, and this laurel here, again, that's starting to get too tall. That'll have to be cut back. And the wisteria, this side, produced all those seed pods last year. Now, when I moved in, the wisteria had seed pods on it, and it's never produced them since. But last year, it produced another load, a mass. They're really velvety, quite attractive. And the pyracantha, you can see either those berries have fallen off or the birds have been at them. There are blackbirds around, so they should eat the berries okay. But that would have been a massive feast. There were an awful lot. So just have to keep that in shape again as well. Just keep it trimmed back. So and then we've got the two types of shrub here. This is alder. And this is, I've forgotten, ash, I think. Can't remember. Yes, I think it's ash. Right, so this is the fuchsia that we dug up that went mad last year. What I thought was going to be one bush that we dug up ended up being several, and it filled that pot nicely. That'll get cut right back to the ground soon when I get out here and start pruning stuff. And then that'll all shoot out from the ground again, a nice new growth. And again, that can be pinched out so that it bushes. It means it delays the blooms, but it means it doesn't get too big. If it gets too big, the wind will blow it over. So they get top heavy. But that pot was deliberately bought for that fuchsia because it's got a nice wide top and quite a large flat bottom. These type of pots with the narrow base, they don't do so well in the wind, whereas ones like this do, because they've got a much wider base. This one's got a wide base as well, but the narrow base ones don't do so good. Right, so there we go, that's what's going on. As I say, the cyclamen's looking nice, or one of them is. I can't remember whether I bought different types. Could be that they are different types. Can't remember. All I know is that they were dirt cheap, and I stuck them in hoping that they would grow, and they, at least one of them's doing well. And yeah, we can end on some nice snowdrops. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.